So many people think, if I've messed up, then I am a mess up. If I've made a mistake, then I am a mistake. And there is a big difference. I recently had a strong argument with somebody exactly on that subject. And as I was explaining to her, she was first being very defensive because she said, to me it is the same thing. And she was so certain she was right. Beautiful, wonderful woman, a woman in her 50s, living with that pain. And as I began to explain to her that she just made a mistake and it doesn't make her a mistake, she started feeling shivers going through her body. She said to me, and I'm quoting, "I feel hair standing at the back of my neck." Something was being unraveled inside her body because all of this is so physical. It is a physical experience. We are not a mistake, but we have made mistakes. These things, these mistakes, perhaps were ugly because we've judged them as ugly, but we are not ugly. And when we judge ourselves, when we judge others, this is a mechanism to stop all process of healing, to stop all change. Judgments stop everything. I'm not talking about judgments that are discernments, where we use our critical thinking and see what's right, what's wrong. I'm using the word of judgment is judging somebody or ourselves as wrong. No, we've done something wrong. It can be forgiven. So understanding that is very important. Forgiveness of yourself won't happen without feeling remorse. So allow yourself to feel it. Remorse is so powerful. It is the healing balm of magic. It is the healing balm of forgiveness. It is the tears we cry that melt the walls we have built around ourselves and around the pain that is inside. These walls have to come down. They have to melt. I'm going to show you and to teach you and to share with you later a very elegant way of actually forgiving yourself if you find yourself unable to do it. And it is a meditative way. This meditation will be recorded and it is available to everyone. I have received it as a gift years ago. It has healed so much inside of me, and it is my honor, my privilege to share it with all of you. And that's a meditation on how to forgive yourself. So, and now let's talk about forgiving another. And that is also very important, incredibly important, and it's very different. Something has been done to us. Pain was inflicted. Something that we have not been able to move past. And we carry that person or these people with us at all times. Even if it appears that we have forgotten about them, even if it appears that we're not thinking about them at all, this is not the case. Again, I come back to denial. It is a very powerful mechanism, and it had its function when we were very little, when we didn't have any tools, any ways of dealing with pain. We've learned to do it, and it worked because we survived. But now it doesn't work. Now it is destructive. So even if we tell ourselves it doesn't matter, say it's your father, and you haven't spoken to him for the last 10, 15, 20 years. You're a father yourself, and you're telling yourself that whatever happened is over, doesn't matter, makes no difference. Unless you have truly forgiven and honestly let go, it does matter. Because everyone in authority over you, real or perceived, is the Father, or experienced to you as the Father. Never mind you're a man in your 50s, or in your 40s or 30s, a father or a grandfather yourself. Everyone in authority over you, real or perceived, is a father to you, somebody you need to rebel against or seek approval or acceptance from, or both. And you don't even know it. But that's how life is experienced, through those filters, through those prisms. I took an example of a father because it's an obvious one and so many are grappling with, but it could be anyone. It could be a friend. It could be anyone. It could be your husband or wife, your partner, your child. Yes, children hurt us. Little children, easier to forgive them. Adolescents, sometimes it's hard to forgive them. But we should and we have to. It's hard for them to live. If you're parents of adolescents, understand how difficult it is to be an adolescent. They don't know what they're doing. They're lost. That understanding alone can take you to compassion. Or whoever it is, it doesn't matter. And again, I'm going to record, and you will have a link to go there and to do it yourself, a meditation on how to forgive another, which is very different on how to forgive yourself. Also incredibly powerful and incredibly elegant, and works like magic. I'm just like everyone else. I didn't roll out of bed one day and realize all that I'm sharing with you. Awakening is a very big word. Buddha sat under the tree and then one day was awake. And there are people who experience awakening in the same way. Not many, but it does happen. In my case, awakening was like dawn. Light coming in, but not all at once. More and more as I began to wake up. And it is forever going on. It is a continuing process, and it's wonderful. Who would want to be done? As long as we're in the physical body, there is more to explore, there is more to learn, there is more to heal. I remember many, many years ago, I was in love with a man, and I remember telling him, I can never forgive. I didn't forget that because it was such a shocking thing to say. Not shocking to me at the time. I said, I can never forgive. And why did I say that? It was a threat. It was a warning. It was a manipulation. I was letting him know, don't hurt me because I can never forgive. And what is the most appalling about this experience, looking back, is this man did not recoil. This man didn't look at me in horror. He completely understood. Not being able to forgive, that was something that was completely normal to him. He couldn't forgive either. This is the kind of man I attracted at the time. And of course it didn't work out. And years later, he was actually the first person that I forgave. And again, many more years later, I ran into him in the street. By then, I had absolutely no ill feelings about him at all, and was actually happy to see him. And I stopped, and if I was smiling, he stopped as well. He looked me in the eyes, dead eyes. It was a moment. The moment felt very long, and it was a very strong moment. Neither of us spoke. After that, he looked away, turned, and walked away. He had not forgiven. He looked like an old man, and he was not an old man at all. That pain, that anger, and of course I am not the only one, this person had not forgiven. And my heart was filled with compassion, and I could not really believe that this is what I had experienced. How aged he looked. He really looked like an old man.